FMC connects you to experts about crop protection and agronomic insights. Join Jake Turner for another conversation sure to be worth your time.
This is a fairly flexible class of chemistry, right? I mean, they can be used in row or specialty crops on a wide spectrum of pests. So, Eric, what are the Rynaxypyr and Cyazypyr based products from FMC?
Sure, Jake. And you hit on a key point, flexibility. And really, with that flexibility, where that foundation is, a lot of times is around formulation. You know, we see in the industry a lot that the same active doesn't perform the same, and a lot of times it is because of formulation. And we have some of the top formulation chemists in the world that work at FMC, and some of the formulations that we have with Rynaxypyr and Cyazypyr brands are the best in the industry. So I'd like to kind of weave that in as why we have those different formulations. And I'll start with Alticore. And Alticore is a Rynaxypyr brand that's used in permanent crops and tree nuts, pistachios, almonds, as well as pome and stone fruit. And its claim to fame is outstanding control of navel orangeworm, codling moth, and insect pests, such as those. It isn't a dry formulation, and the reason we go dry is that gives that flexibility, not only single mode of action, but it also gives that tree nut producer, the pome stone fruit, where fruit finish is important, especially in pome and stone, that you can use different adjuvants. You can use tank mixtures that don't impact fruit finish. Alticore in itself does not have any impact, so we give the grower the flexibility with adjuvants and other tank mixtures to maintain that perfect fruit finish. And it's used at low use rates, and so that too is appealing in itself. You know, when you switch gears, you go to our vegetable offering, Coragen. Again, a Rynaxypyr single active product. The uniqueness there, again, lower use rates, but what's unique is we have the ability to get the same performance out of soil applications as we do as foliar applications. That's pretty unique. And the Rynaxypyr Active is the first one that's been able to deliver LEP control, worm control from soil application. So you have the flexibility with different application methods from a soil perspective, but also from foliar, including chemigation. You know, you switch gears and stick with the Rynaxypyr Active. Our latest introduction is Vanticore insect control, and it's more of our broad acre offering, and it's kind of a second generation of Prevathon, which is one of our more successful brands. And what we've done there is just dramatically increase the load of active ingredient. It's almost 12 times as concentrated, and it delivers performance that's almost or is exactly of that of Prevathon. But the beauty of that is, since you're covering broad acres, you have to manage containers. You don't want a lot of containers, and that's from handling, from getting the product on the acre, but it's also from an environmental. All those containers have to be disposed of, so much more concentrated means much fewer number of containers to dispose of, which is just as important as controlling the pest. You know, you switch gears to the Cyazypyr brands. We have two there. We have the Verimark brand and Exarel. And that's a great instance or example of where one formulation couldn't get it done. I'll go with Exarel first, and that's our foliar formulation, and it's an oil-based, kind of a oil and water emulsion. But what you run into there is, if you use that formulation in the soil, we get crop response, crop phyto from a soil application. So it's a great example of where we've customized the formulation for maximum performance foliar, but yet it doesn't work as a soil. And so that's why we switch gears and we go to Verimark, which doesn't have or has a formulation that's very easy on germinating plants, on young tender shoots, and gives that protection from germination through the early stages of crop growth. And so those two products are very important that are being used in our vegetable markets. And a lot of it has to do with not only insect protection, but also disease transmission, virus transmission. So these are critical. So up until this point, I've only talked about single actives, Rynaxypyr, Cyazypyr, and that's what has been our strategy. That gives a grower maximum flexibility to tank mix only when they need to, but when they do need to, they can tank mix the right product. So we switched gears this past year. We launched Elevest insect control, which is a combination of Rynaxypyr and bifenthrin. And so what you get there is the best-in-class diamide with Rynaxypyr, and you also get the best-in-class pyrethroid with bifenthrin. And so there's time of the year, especially let's say in cotton, where we have stink bugs and worms that overlap at the same time. This gives you best in class of both products and complete insect control for those pests, as with a single product. So just a little bit of change in strategy, but we let the grower needs dictate that change in strategy, and then we put together two of the best chemistries in the industry to produce Elevest insect control.
And there you've got a spectrum of products to handle different types of crops, different types of pest pressure, different types of applications. Be sure to tune into the next chapter to learn more about the diamide class of chemistry from FMC. Till next time, keep it on the upside.